trailing by 8. 3:02 to go. Rudolph with a shotgun snap. He throws it long down the field. There's a man open. Diontae has it at the 10-yard line, and that's a 1st and goal. Diontae Johnson.
Who said Mason Rudolph can't sling it? Welcome back to 5-Star Matchup. If you like the show, make sure to subscribe now and check out our Patreon and Teespring for exclusives and merch. Well, we made it to week 17 against Cleveland, which seems like it happens almost every year, and we have a pair of teams trying to accomplish different things. Cleveland's trying to get a win and get into the dance, while your Pittsburgh Steelers are already in the dance and just trying to get out healthy. Let's take a look at what happened. For the first time this year, it's Mason Rudolph trotting out for the start, and as many of you know from the first season of 5-Star Matchup, I'm perhaps one of the only members of Steelers Nation who still has hope for this young man. Start with some nice patience and a little zip through a tight window for a 3rd down conversion to chase the bank, and we're on the move. Mason's a little late to find Connor on the check down here though, and he can't complete it. He still struggles with his mental clock. Over to the Browns offense, and they immediately attack the Steelers' weakness of late, which is the interior run defense, and why wouldn't you grab an easy 10 if you could? Simple case of way too vanilla defense here for the Steelers as Alex Highsmith gets matched up on Jarvis Landry, and he's going to lose that battle every single time. More offensive strength versus defensive weakness here as Chubb takes the handoff and just gets past Alu and Cam Sutton and is off to the races for 6. I won't take anything away from Chubb, who's a great player, but you'd like to think this run probably never happens if number 90 is setting that edge instead of 92. Either way, Browns on the board, 7-0. Back over to the replacements offense, and it's not the elf, but Dobbsy the quarterback coming in to run a little razzle-dazzle. While I don't love this play call, I have to point out if McFarland even tries to lay a block, this is grabbing at least a few. Back to the Browns offense, and them DBs better turn on the damn TV because it's time for People's Court on a frustrating missed coverage on 3rd and long. Clever play by the rookie. Great effort, but less clever play on this one by the same rook, who mystifyingly gets the refs to rule this one a catch, but is quickly overturned by Judge Wapner, and the Steelers get off on 3rd down. Nice pair of runs by James Conner, who even grabs a short yardage conversion, and while the numbers weren't gaudy, it was definitely encouraging to see the run game get going at times finally. Because what does it do? Watch the linebackers on this one. It's important to scheme this stuff up for a young quarterback, but why not make things a little easier on your 17-year vet from time to time too? James unfortunately can't make the catch, but point stands. 3rd and long now, and Big Al pays no attention to the blitzer, but that's okay because neither does Mace Rude, and he connects with Chase for another 3rd down conversion, and we head to the 2nd quarter. Another incompletion here, but I still like the idea. The Steelers weren't afraid to push the ball down the field with Rudolph, which, from his days at Oklahoma State, is obviously his comfort zone. I actually think Chase might have been able to grab this one if he tracked it just a hair sooner, but no harm, no foul. I like the idea. Back to defense now, and you ever notice how most of our good cornerbacks are ones who weren't drafted by the Steelers? I'm not hating on Justin Lane, but at some point I need to see one of these raw prospects get pressed into a diamond instead of a damn grilled cheese. Great tip pass by one of the most underrated Steelers of 2020, Tyson Alu, who certainly eased the loss of my man Jay Wobble to the lowly and tanking Eagles. More vanilla defense here from the Steelers as they rush 4 and somehow get Avery Williamson matched up on the slot extraordinaire Jarvis Landry, and he converts, as he will in 100 out of 100 of those matchups. Great stand and bizarre sequence for the Brownies as they're attacking a team with Avery Williamson and Justin Lane out there, but Baker decides to target the best free safety in the game on 2 out of 3 plays, and they can't punch it in. Nice sequence by Jayrone Elliott and the boys to keep the Steelers in this one. Browns take the 3 and a 10-point lead. Is that? Couldn't be. Another 3rd down conversion on the ground for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and you love to see it. Even better, look at Myles Garrett get eaten alive by David DeCastro. TJ Watt would never. A little of the Coach Randy special here with a run on a 2nd and forever, and simply put, I will just never understand these. Unless the defense is in dime or something, I'm never running it on 2nd and 10, especially not with 8 in the box and my 3rd string running back. But I guess Randy knows something that we don't, and that's that on 3rd and long, you can just have Mason Rudolph stand in the pocket and drop a damn dime to Diontae Johnson for a huge gainer, and yes, if you're wondering, this was the moment that I became that meme of the guy leaning forward in his chair. Back to the rocket scientist, and while Mason's got the gun, Dobbs has the legs, and while it was nothing amazing, I love anything that can come out of left field to surprise a defense. More big shrugs for Big Al, as this play is actually set up nicely, but Garrett is able to throw off Ray Ray's trajectory and timing a little too much, and the play breaks down. I hate to keep going at Al today because Mason does have to do a better job of feeling this pressure and either moving out or getting rid of it, but man, it's not often you see starting left tackles get blown back like this. Just a bad day at the office for 78. Steelers take the chip shot from fake Boz, and it's a one-score game with 4 minutes to go in the first half. Play of the season for Chris Wormley, who demolishes Baker to keep the Steelers' seemingly endless sack streak alive. While a lot of the Steelers' sacks are due to great players, you can tell so much of it is scheme and how they teach guys. Do you realize there were 10 teams with half or less as many sacks as the Steelers this year? Crazy. Despite a good game, still a few small complaints on Rudolph, and here's one of them. Gotta take a little off of it when guys are only a few feet in front of you. 3rd and 9, though, is no place to take anything off of it, and Mason confidently stands in and slings a damn rope to Juju for another 3rd and long conversion just out of reach of the defender. Great throw and conversion. More struggles with that internal clock here as he passes up easy completions to either Juju or Snell and instead gets obliterated on a frontside sack that I have no idea how he didn't feel coming. Luckily, he hangs onto the ball. More of the Dobbs show on 3rd and forever, and holy Elway, Batman, the rocket scientist takes a crushing shot on his way into field goal range. Fake Boz pulls through with a 46-yarder, and we head into the half. Browns 10, Steelers JV team 6. Head over to our Teespring store in the link in the description to check out our sweet merch and support 5-star matchup in the process. Use promo code HEREWEGO for 15% off. Just another in a long line of Steelers outside backers on their way to stardom. It's Alex Highsmith, who has just gotten better and better as the year goes on. Not sure if him or J-Ron gets the credit for the sack here, but this play is all Alex for me. 3rd down now, and pressure from Tyson flushes Baker out of the pocket, and he scrambles to come up just a little short of the first. False start on 4th keeps the Browns from going for it, and it's back to Mace Rude and the Steelers offense. 3rd and 8, and are you f***ing kidding me? Mason again ignores the rush and lobs a picture-perfect 45-yard rainbow to the bank for a chunk. Look, I know a lot of you out there just wanted to hate Mason last year, but this is what that guy can do. Watch some tape from OK State. I'm not saying he's Pat Mahomes, but number 2 can chuck it if you give him the chance. Drive stalls out, but Lil Boz nails it from 46, and don't look now, it's a 1-point game and Mason Rudolph is dropping dimes. We in this. Just an ugly play that comes from inexperience here as Mondo and Marcus Allen, who likely won't be sharing a pass rush in the playoffs, leave too wide of a lane on their rush, and Baker escapes and grabs a huge chunk against the blitz. You'd like to think Spillane or Vince might come in a little more controlled in this situation, but in the words of dads everywhere, it is what it is. Enough time for Mayfield to grab a few minutes of shut-eye before he rifles this one for a first just in front of Steven Nelson, and just like that, the Browns are threatening. Might just be me, but man, I don't think Avery Williamson is too good in coverage. He just lets Hooper skate right by him without so much as a push, and Baker hits him for the score. Browns 17, Steelers 9. More Coach Randy nightmares on this one as he dials up another 2nd and long run, even though Mason's playing well and it obviously goes nowhere. This sets up a 3rd and long and our 5-star play of the game.
Here's the blitz, and he's going to throw the ball, intercepted at the 50-yard line. And that is intercepted by M.J. Stewart Jr., still on his feet at the 25, the 20, and he's knocked out of bounds as he gets it.
Unfortunately, this is exactly why you don't run it on 2nd and 10, as the Browns bring a blitz and the protection is a nightmare. Mason really should just eat the sack here, but he's a youngin' and makes the critical mistake of lobbing one he can't step into, and it's fatefully picked. Refs miss an abundantly obvious blow to the head on Rudolph, but I guess it didn't look as bad as the one he took last year, so they don't call it. Stop me if you've heard this one before. Wide open man in front of Sean Davis, and just like that, the Browns are back inside the 5. Little dipsy do to Jarvis Landry gets the Browns in with a commanding 24-9 lead. Nice play, but again, I'm not sure you'll see Jayrone Elliott in there at this time next week. Not deterred, it's back to Mason and he hits Vance, who, we mustn't forget, is a monster to tackle. Crucial 4th and 6, and Mason stands in and delivers a great throw to Diontae Johnson, who is the king of social distancing, and they convert to keep fighting. Gotta love the play from both, but especially number 2. Just an unbelievable effort from Chase on a throw just a little too far outside. Regardless of what happens this year, you just have to be excited about what the future holds for number 11. Time for another 4th down, and what's Mason gonna do? He's going to stand in against the pressure and lob another rainbow to that giant man wearing the double sticks and grab a sixer for the boys in white. I'm not saying Rudolph is suddenly a starter in this league, but if you aren't liking what you're seeing at this point, you're choosing to feel that way. Awesome play by the third-year QB, and even better catch through contact by Chase the Bank, who has clearly never heard of the rookie wall. Shockingly good coverage on the back end doesn't let Mayfield find anyone, but the lack of any pass rush whatsoever lets him escape and grab another first on the ground. These cheap ones need to be cleaned up next week, and I think when the guys rushing aren't wearing number 73, 99, and 96, they probably will be. 3rd and 3, and it's Alexander the Great, who looks like a 7th-year vet with this nasty spin move to flush Baker and help my guy Do It To It grab his 11th sack of the season. What a monster season for a guy that feels under the radar even when you watch him weekly. 4th and 7, and the Browns can't complete it, and they turn it over to the suddenly and shockingly on fire Mason Rudolph. Oh, but Mason's a statue, they say. Well, you don't have to be fast to escape the pocket, and he does so here and finds Juju on 3rd and 10 to keep the drive alive. 1st and 15, Mason says, "F*** your dink, I'm going for a dunk," and he uncorks what I think is the best throw of his professional career to this point and hits a streaking Diontae Johnson for a huge gainer, and while they won't admit it, this is the exact play that caused Browns fans everywhere to go, "Not again." Rudolph rifles it into Juju at the goal line for his 9th score of the year, and if you can believe it, the Steelers' JV team is a 2-point conversion away from snatching victory from the jaws of defeat in the most important game in the history of the new Browns franchise. Unfortunately, the young gun stares down his target, who may or may not get held on his route, and the pass falls incomplete. Fake Boz gives them a chance on the onsides, but these are never recovered anymore, and a blatant misholding call later, the Browns, for the first time since 2002, are on their way to the playoffs with a win over their bitter rival, the Pittsburgh Steelers. While none of us ever wants to see a loss, I gotta say, if you weren't at least somewhat encouraged by the fight against a team that needed it infinitely more and had their franchise quarterback playing, then I don't know what you were expecting. If the next week's return of arrested TJ Watt, Cam Hayward, and Ben Roethlisberger at Heinz Field isn't worth an extra 3 points against this very same Browns team, then the Steelers don't deserve to win a playoff game. Unfortunately for the Browns, and fortunately for us, I believe that's worth a heck of a lot more than that, and while this year is unquestionably a step forward for the Browns organization, it looks to me like their trip to the playoffs might be as brief and unpleasant as the tenure of Freddie Kitchens. Here we go. If you're still there, don't forget, promo code HEREWEGO gets you 15% off on the 5-star matchup Teespring store. You can also support us on Patreon, Twitch, tip link below, whatever you want to do. Just make sure you keep watching.